Call the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Burnworth. Here. Councilmember Amparano.
Here.
Councilmember Mendoza. Here. Mayor Tucker.
Here.
And Mayor Pro Tem Obeso Martinez is absent for the record.
Okay, please stand for the pledge.
Mr. Moore, ready, begin.
Adjustments to the agenda.
Oh, go for it.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, we would ask that item A3 be deferred to the next agenda. That's item A3. And then I understand with respect to item B4, I want to move item B4 to the discussion portion of the agenda and remove it from the consent.
Okay. So it will go like right after the consent agenda, right?
I think you could take up that item whenever you see fit. Yeah, but that
Okay,
would be one
yeah.
option.
Make it C4.
Yes. Alrighty. City attorney's reports on closed session.
As the city council met today in closed session, discussed one item of anticipated litigation. Direction was given to council. The council also discussed a second item of anticipated litigation under Government Code 54956.9D2. Direction was given to council, and those are the only two items that were discussed. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Next up is public comments. Matters not appearing on the agenda. If you wish to address the city council concerning any items within the city council's jurisdiction, please raise your hand and be acknowledged by the mayor. At that time, state your name and address for the record. The mayor reserves the right to place a time limit of 3 minutes on each person's presentation. And I have a few names up here that we'll go through first. Mr. Peter Martinez, please. Thank you.
Good evening, members of the city council and Mr. Mayor and to the public. Good evening to everybody. I'm standing in front of you just to keep up my promise that I did, when I was elected, and that I would come back and talk about the important things of education and pathways and things like that. And I want to keep that going. Every once in a while, I like to show up kind of like a doorman and knocking on the doors and say, here we are. But with that said, I'd like to just say that I'm a community advocate and organizer, as well as I'd like to point out some bullet points and some highlights of what's going on in education. Primarily, I'm humbled to be in front of you and to share some what we are doing, for our area. I live in Imperial. I live at 626 West Murphy in Imperial, just for the record. But I want to share with you the importance of a couple of highlights that I found as of recently. The San Diego Tribune just announced that the California K through 12 enrollment is going to shrink in terms of student population from 600,000 in California, of course, 600,000 students by 2045. That's a 15% decline. California University Colleges, obviously as a product of a community college and as an elected official for that, it's our responsibility, not only as an official, but also as a community members, to support our high school graduates, to see them graduate and complete their education. Graduates of the class of 2023 alone included more than 200,000 students in California, simplifying an untapped potential of seeing students achieve higher means of beyond high school enrollments. With a 70% workforce attainment goal, school districts and colleges will require us to advocate. That's the key word, advocacy, to ensure that supporting our students to finish their high schools, and a strong effort through our local colleges to determine and reach to simplify the transfer pathways, increase retention rates, and develop outreach efforts while educational landscapes may be shifting to uncertainties. And I guess we all kind of see that happening. So with that just recently said, many of you may be aware of what FAFSA is, financial aid for college students, correct? Well, we saw a 25% decline in applications for this academic year. Now, that could be attributed for a number of reasons, but the bottom line is that we're concerned that those enrollment numbers are down in California. So as of March 3rd, the California Student Aid Commission moved its deadline date from March 3rd to April 2nd to increase, application forms. So with that point, what are we doing? What are we doing as Imperial Valley College? We have a strategic project plan in place. We're going to see enrollment numbers. We want to see enrollment numbers increase. We want to create pathways and a program mapper, which really identifies is a roadmap for our students, strengthening our dual enrollments for our high schools. And I may tell you, I'm very proud to announce is that Imperial Valley College, as of recently, has a provisional baccalaureate degree program. Again, provisional. And I want to make that clear that it still has a little timeline still in the gap, but we're working towards getting that provisional timeline in place so we could have a first ever bachelor's degree program at our community college. That's an incredible feat for our communities. So what's our vision? Our vision is for our communities to cultivate, to sustain an inclusive culture that embraces diversity, opportunities, and build a really strong sense of community involvement. So as your representative for this area, I'm proud and humbled to be in front of you to share not only these pathways, but I thank you the opportunity to continue to come here every so often. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for your time.
All right, and thank you very much. And next time, if you could just let them know when you're coming, that way we can put you on the agenda so you can have as much time as you need.
So I could move from bullet points to a little more elaborate.
Exactly, yeah, and we appreciate
I
you.
was sweating over those 3 minutes. I was told that I was going to.
I heard the thing go off and I thought, oh, here we go, but
Yeah.
I didn't want. Yeah.
Thank you again, Mr.
And
Tucker, for your time, and thank you, folks, for your time as
Education
well.
is very important. Thank you. Okay, now, was there any via email?
No, there was no public comment via email.
All right, thank you. Next up, Mr. Gerald Robinson.
Don't start yet. Good afternoon. Thank you, council, board, and thank you, people in the audience. I'm representing Springfield Homes, Coahuila Drive. I've been a resident there for over 19 years. Was the first resident. There's only two of us been there from day one, myself and Joey. And we have big concerns, which I know you guys probably are aware of it, of a halfway house being, as we speak, going to enter our residence. 4 houses down. I live on 310 Coahuila Drive, 4 houses down from ours. Having a halfway house in the middle of a resident neighborhood can raise concern about safety, property values, and overall community stability. Residents may worry about an increase in risk of crime, disruptive behavior, especially if the facility house individuals with history of substance abuse or criminal offense. The presence of a halfway house can also lead to a decline in property values as potential home buyers may be deterred by the uncertainty it brings. Additionally, neighborhoods are designed to be family-friendly environments, and the integration of the facility with potential unstable residents can create unease among families with children. So we're here to tell you that we have a big worry about it. We understand that it's a organization that went above you guys of our local city council of Imperial. They went to the state to get the license. We did our research on it. So one of the neighbors that met one of the guy that's running it, he doesn't live here. The owner of this organization, she doesn't live here. The owner of the house that I met, he doesn't live here. So here we got an organization coming in our community, okay, that that we got to worry about our kids, that there is a major bus stop in our neighborhood that on that street with kids on it. Finally, in 4 years after COVID, okay, I witnessed kids coming outside playing basketball on the street, people walking down the streets, okay, people just being outside again, okay. We're not arguing about helping people in life, helping people that need help, but what we're arguing about is placing them in the right area. So our safety, we don't deserve to, we worry about our kids as it is. We worry about our family as it is. Now we have an extra worry on our hand, okay? There's so many opportunities they can go to the travel agency across from the fairground, okay? Let's try to work with them and open up a facility for them. There's so many abandoned buildings. I'm just here to tell you, there's a lot of worries and factors in there. There's a lot of law enforcement on that street. Okay, the neighbor is a correctional officer to this house. He's a correctional officer. So what tells you that he might not run into someone that he was in prison or in jail with? Okay, so our concern is now we got to worry about theft. We got to worry about break-in and God forbid. Okay, okay. I'm a grown man. I'm a Christian, but I'm going to protect my family. Okay? You break in my house, you might meet your Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Okay? And I will protect my family the right way and the honest way. Okay? So I ask for y'all to help us because we know it's out of your hands, for you to help us, and we come up with a solution so this cannot go above you guys, and we can understand that we can make facilities for them and help them out, but you don't put them in a residential area that's been established, and now there's a big worries. Now you chief of police, okay, it's going to be a big handle on your hand getting phone calls, okay? This is let's just say if they do wrong, let's just say if they do right, then they do right. But the consequences of doing wrong and in a great neighborhood, it's a big consequences. And I just want to tell you guys that it's not right. It's not right. They did not notify us. They did not let us know what was going on. So they're going behind your back, going behind our back. So how can we have faith and trust in them living in our neighborhoods, okay, coming in our neighborhood without getting the proper ID, the proper way of doing things in life? And that's what this life is built on, is doing it right. Not collecting a dollar, not worrying about each individual paying $900, okay, to stay there, not worrying about getting a check, and they not even, the owners don't even live in our community. I'm a faithful community person. I do a lot for this community. Not only me, the neighborhood, the law enforcement, they live their life going to work every day to protect us. So we have a voice, so we can come here and express our feelings, how we feel about it. And we're not happy. Not one of us on that block is happy about this, but we're doing it the right way. We're not getting on you guys. We're just asking for your help. Where do we go from here? Because we're going to set up a neighborhood watch, okay? We're going to do the right things in life. And we're going to pray that nothing happens. So we just want to make sure this is recorded, because if something relapses and someone does something to somebody on that block, okay, I want to know who's going to take the responsibility of their action. If someone harm one of our kids or harm one of our family members, who takes the action of their action? Who will take the responsibility? That's what we want to know. We want to present this, and the way you present this is the whole big picture. We got to come together and realize, yes, they do need help. I believe in forgiveness. I believe in second chances, but also I believe in common sense. Well, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next we have Rigoberto. And after that, we got a Sean Arvizo.
Yeah, good afternoon. I'd like to tell you this for the same for the
Go ahead
halfway
and state
home.
your name and
My
address.
name is Rigoberto Perea. I live in 180 Baskin Ranch Drive. and I just come and say hi to everybody. And I like to know why they put in a halfway home in a neighborhood. They've been a quiet neighborhood for 20 years. I've been living there for 20 years and being a great neighborhood, you know. I know what the halfway home do, okay? I know they want to help the people. You guys want to help the people, but we want to help our family, take care of our neighborhood. Who will take care of you guys? Gonna take care of that people? The halfway people can go out anytime, at night or day. They can leave anytime. They can leave the house. So I like to know what you guys gonna do about it.
We're working on it.
You know, we don't like to have one in there. You know,
Okay.
because our family, we protected our family and our neighborhood.
All
I
right,
like
we-
to say thank you, everybody, and that's it.
Thank you and appreciate your concerns. Sean?
Well, good evening, council, and everybody else. Thank you so much for the gift of your time on this subject. I'm also a resident on Kauai Drive. My name is Sean Arviso, been serving as a pastor for over 10 years, and right now with Christ Community Church of Imperial Valley. I primarily pastor in Brawley. But I'm also here to share in opposition of the Rooted Life Recuperative Care Home operating within our neighborhood. I reside at 301 Kauai Drive, just a few houses away. I spoke with Michael Keaton, the manager of the home, yesterday for about 13 minutes. I asked lots of questions about the program, and sure enough, all the information was exactly what we as the residents in that area don't want. There is a 90-day max stay, and the target population of the people there is homeless and drug addictive. As was mentioned, they can come and go as they please. Now, by the way, with Christ Community Church, we have men's and women's homes as well. The New Creations Men's and Women's Homes operated for well over 25 years, about 30 years now. And so we are all about life transformation, just like G-Rob. Thank you so much for that passionate address. I fully love the Lord Jesus Christ. I'm all about gospel transformation and getting into the mess of people's lives. Believe me, we are all about it all day, every day. Don't get that wrong, but there is a place for these kinds of programs to operate. And with those of us who work with this population of people, drug addictive, homeless, and such, particularly in the context of New Creations, we fully understand the level of risk that comes with this population. There is a much higher level risk of crime. And I don't think that you as the council or local law enforcement and such, that you would want this on your hands, knowing that you could have done something to prevent the harm against the families that you see physically in this room and those whom we represent as well. So again, we are all for rehabilitation, but we do advocate that this home be relocated somewhere else in a non-residential area, ideally an industrial or commercial location. And so with that being said, we come from an organizational experience that if this home remains in our neighborhood, it will be a bad experience. So let's stop that now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, council members. My name is Victor Reyes. I am the correction officer that lives next door to this halfway house. And a big issue that we have is it's a for-profit organization that's trying to come to the valley. And I have experience working at halfway houses for the state of California. And the thing about that is the state has strict security and so much safety and precautions to prevent anything from happening, right? But this is an organization that we don't know what's going on in there. Who's auditing? Who is checking in on these guys? The taxpayers are the ones that, if something happens, the local police department will have to come in and deal with the situation that happened there. So it's like, it's unsafe. It's non-regulated. They're for profit. I mean, their spiel was that they were trying to eventually get a commercial building, but they're going to do a trial house here at the risk of everyone in our community. And let's say they fail the program. Are they just going to give them the boot and let them out into our community? Just out? Are they going to transfer them back somewhere else? Or are we going to be dealing with all these homeless and failed people that failed the program. So that's the issue I have, that I have to worry, and especially me as a correction officer. I don't even know if they're felons or, my family is there. I go to my backyard and they have fuel access to what I'm doing in the backyard 24/7. Like, I have no privacy. They didn't set up any measures for privacy for people that pay tax in Imperial. And that is my issue right now. We are taxpayers, and this is unfair. This community has been tight. I don't see any really homeless here, but they're gonna bring homeless here and release them to our public if they fail. That is the issue I'm having, and I want you guys to really look into it, because this is really gonna rise the homelessness in Imperial. We don't need that here. Imperial, the city of Imperial does not really have homeless. We are a community, we're a tight community, smart community, and we all look out for each other. And I feel like that is what we want. We want you guys to look into it, because this is gonna bring trouble into not just that block, but all of Imperial.
All right, appreciate it.
All right,
All right,
thank you.
thank you. Yes, go ahead and come up with a hand up.
Good evening. My name is Kelly Marino. I live at 170 Cotwheeler Drive. Another thing I would like to bring up, we all have kids. A lot of them. And like Mr. G said, now we see them running up and down the blocks. They're riding their bikes. They're doing everything they want to do now. So now with this house coming in, what am I supposed to tell my two girls? That house, don't go near it. They shouldn't live like that. And I need to bring up another thing now I didn't hear anybody say. Not that nobody's not thinking about it. We pay CFDs. Very high CFDs. To keep our neighborhood safe and clean. So unless we're gonna be reimbursed all them CFDs for you guys to put a house in, which I doubt you wanna do, please do not let this happen on our street. We don't know what to do. This literally came to us like this. I seen it on rants and raves. We started talking to each other. And how many of y'all live on Cowilla? Raise your hand. That's my whole block. That's the whole street. We don't want this. We do not want this. So can you guys tell us what we can do?
Yes, the assistant to the city manager
Thank you,
has
Mayor,
been on this.
Mayor, council members, and members of the council. Thank you, Mayor, council members, and members of the public. Tommy Garcia, Assistant to the City Manager. So we're looking into this, as it was brought up to us this week as well. Much of the information is accurate of what the public's learned, just as we were too. And to reiterate some of those comments that were made, this is classified, it's described as a recuperative facility. It's a residential facility. The state does, classify these as a residential facility, so it meets the, zoning area of a residential zoning area. And that being said, so it doesn't trigger, say, a CUP or further action from the city to approve this facility. They are regulated, licensed, and inspected, throughout the year, by the state. So that's why it wasn't before this council or say our planning commission. It's licensed and regulated through the state.
Can you tell
Hang on.
them what state agency they can provide their comments
Our
to?
understanding is it is the State Community Care Division that licenses and regulates this type of facility.
So who holds the responsibility of each individual that live at that house if they do a harm to our family or our kids? Who takes the responsibility so we can hear it from you? Who would take the responsibility if they harm us? Who do we
We can get you the state info.
the state?
We're gonna get you, we'll get you the state info. It's our typically, our advice every time we don't notice something, but it's during public comment, is not to respond at all.
Okay.
But our council and our, everyone here wanted to provide an answer. So I would advise that if you could follow up with the city manager's office with more details. Also, we'll make sure that we make available the contact information for the state agency, and we'll be able to provide more answers, just not until
We
we.
appreciate, we're not here to get on y'all. We know it went to above y'all. We here crying out. If you have a family, when you go home tonight, if you got a spouse, you got a family, you got a grandma that's staying with you, ask him would you want to live next door to to a house like this, okay? And then see how we feel about it. Especially, we work hard. That's all we do in life. We're gonna pay our bills the rest of our life. I died, my wife still got to pay bills of the house. So, and we want to live comfortable. You see what I'm saying? So we're screaming for help. We're not getting on y'all. We know y'all in a high position.
I understand.
Wait, hang on. Go ahead, Gerald, you finish.
No, we know y'all in a high position. We just asking for help. Because, it's easy to stand out here and ask for help and sitting over there and y'all, it's hard when they go above it. That's why voting is important in life. That's why election is important in life. But this is our town. This is not Governor Newsom town. This is our town. And we need to make next door to him. He doesn't have a liquor house living down the street from him. I guarantee you, his kids wasn't locked up for during COVID. I promise you that. So let's stay together and let's work hard on this so we can send them a message that you don't mess with us down.
Okay, thank you, Gerald. But get with the city manager's office and they'll give you that info. And go ahead and step up to the mic and state your name and address, please.
My name is Elizabeth
You can
Warner.
turn the mic down a little bit if you like.
I live at 230 Coahuila. I'm directly next door. And I'm a compassionate person. And I really do feel like there needs to be a space for people who are in recovery. Like, I understand that, but I don't feel like our neighborhood is the appropriate place for that. And when I spoke to the person who was running that location, what he told me did not match up with what I researched as far as the information he gave me on his website, especially when it comes to the level of sobriety of the individuals who would be living in that house, which it's a 5-bedroom house, and he's going to have 12 people coming in and out of that house, paying $900 to $1,500 a month to be there. And the level of sobriety is unclear. And like I said, I'm a compassionate person, but I don't feel like it's the right fit for the neighborhood. And the expectations, what he told me, did not match up with what was on the website when it comes to what kind, I'm a compassionate person, but what is the success rate? If you're gonna have 12 people coming in and out of that home, how many of them are going to be success stories? I want all of them to be success stories. But if you don't have any evidence to show me that your program is successful, how can I trust you? Right? He doesn't have any successful stories. So he's gonna have 12 people for 3 months, and then 12 more people. It's a for-profit home. And, everybody's got to make that money. I understand that. And I want everybody to have an opportunity for a brand new story and for recovery. But I don't feel like it's the right fit for the neighborhood. If he could come back and be like, you know what? Not everybody is going to be successful, but 3/4 of the people, they're recovered and they're healthy. But he can't even say that. How many people go through his program and are successful? He told me that he was going to have staff 24/7. What are these staff doing? What are these staff capable of? Are they healthcare? No, they are not. Are they security? No, no, they are not. What kind of staff? When I asked him what kind of resources he was offering these people, because he told me that he was offering these unhoused individuals who are in recovery opportunities, he could not pin down any kind of job opportunities or healthcare opportunities that he was actually offering him. And like I said, I'm compassionate and I want to see people succeed. But if you're not actually offering concrete opportunities for people to do better, what are you actually offering? It's a gym membership. He hopes that you will pay and then you'll quit. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And I'd also like, since we learned about this, Mr. Tommy has been working very hard on trying to figure it out. And so I direct you guys to get with the city manager's office, and we are working on, and he's being directed to see what we can do.
Yeah, Mayor, we did get a few contacts on where we can go to try to ascertain some of these questions. Is, you know, this council doesn't have any of those answers because it is, as we said, regulated by the state. This goes through the state, and so we're working to try to answer some of these questions. One of the things right now, we don't even know if their license has been approved and seeing their license and what they're actually licensed to do in this facility. So those are things we're working on to try to ascertain.
They coming in 2 weeks.
Mr. Mayor?
They said
Yeah.
last week
Yeah.
they said 3 weeks.
Hang on one second. Go ahead, Mr. Maria.
My suggestion is that if the folks who want to address you have had the opportunity to do so, I would ask that we take a few minutes. I would like to get names and contact information for those who want to be contacted. And so, as we find out information, we'll contact you and tell you when we know it.
Yes, come up and state your name and address, please.
My name's Marianne Jarvis. I live at 1800 Cannon Drive. I teach here in the community. So the kids that I see in the morning as I'm driving to school are waiting at the bus line. I want to know from the police department, are there going to be police officers with the kids while they are waiting for the bus? Because there are many kids, young kids that are in kindergarten, first grade, that are on the bus line waiting without supervision. Is there something that's going to be put in place until we get things clarified? Because that scares me when I see kids.
Go ahead.
So again, the police department, just like many other departments within the city, are playing catch up on this. We don't have a lot of information to act on at this point, but having the availability of personnel assigned to a bus station, that's not something we've even considered at this point. So the more information that we get, the more information that we're able to share within the city would be able to help us dictate what, if any, response we would have in order to address the potential concerns with that house in that neighborhood.
All right, thank you. Any other comments? If we could take a short break so we can get some information on people that want to be notified.
We're gonna-
Are we going on break or
That's
we
not a
keep
very,
going?
that's okay.
My name is Maribel Cortez, and I live at 231 Cahuila Drive. I'm right across the street.
Your name and address?
Maribel Cortez, Cahuila Drive.
Okay.
Right across the street. My question is, since I'm already talking, anybody else that has not came up here to speak to you, can they leave their information if they want to, get
Yes.
contacted?
We're taking the break.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
we're taking a break
Yeah,
for
we'd like
right now.
it as much, as many of
As
you.
many as we
Yeah,
can.
or if you want to coordinate among yourselves, if you missed anyone, you can get it to us and we'll add them.
Okay, thank you so much.
Talk to your team leader, Gerald. We'll keep him informed.
Are we in recess?
Yeah, we're in recess.
No.
Okay. Next up, A, presentations. A1, presentation for Women's History Month. Whereas Women's History Month is celebrated across our native nation every March to honor and commemorate the remarkable achievements and contributions of women throughout history. And whereas the 2025 national theme for Women's History Month is moving forward together, women educating and inspiring generations, and provides an opportunity to reflect on the progress made and recognize the challenges still faced by women in our society. Whereas women have excelled in various fields such as science, technology, engineering, arts, law, politics, sports, education, and healthcare, breaking barriers and stereotypes. And whereas this groundbreaking accomplishments and tireless efforts have shaped our world in profound ways, advancing equality, justice, and opportunity for all. And whereas the City of Imperial City Council recognizes the importance of celebrating Women's History Month and calls upon all citizens to honor the legacy of women who have contributed to our community, to support and uplift women's voices, and to take actions towards a more equitable and just society for all. Now, therefore, I, Mayor James Tucker, on behalf of the Imperial City Council, do hereby proclaim the month of January 25th as 2025, sorry about that, as Women History Month in the City of Imperial, passed and adopted this 5th day of March 2025 at a regular meeting of the Imperial City Council. Alrighty.
Who's taking it?
We are primarily
Leave
women.
Did we
Yeah.
leave them? Did
We'll
we leave
take
the planning of this to the men?
Men?
Wow.
I'm just saying, I would like to ask
Wow.
Mrs. Smith, all the women up on the dais, we will accept it.
Yeah.
Well, let's go get
How
our
about-
picture taken.
Why don't you get all of
Olivia?
them up there on the dais, up there with you guys too?
We're going now. Yeah, Christina, let's go.
Well, you got more women out in the audience.
Our entire library board. Yeah.
Come on, Maribel, get up there. Come on, Maribel. Wow, James.
Oh my God.
Yeah, no, it's.
Wow.
All right. Up next is A2, proclamation presentation for Engineers Week. Whereas the City of Imperial take pride in honoring the contributions and achievements of engineers who have played a pivotal role in shaping our community and in enhancing the quality of life for our residents. And whereas Engineers Week 2025 theme is Design Your Future, which celebrates the limitless possibilities in engineering and invites us to create a future shaped by our collective ingenuity. And whereas their ingenuity and dedication have led to advancement in transportation, healthcare, communication, energy, and environmental sustainability, and ensuring a safer, more efficient, and resilient society. And whereas local engineering projects such as the 2024 Claypool Pump Station, pipeline, and manhole projects have significantly improved the infrastructure and quality of life in our city, showcasing the talent and dedication of our local engineers. And whereas the City of Imperial City Council acknowledges and appreciates the hard work, creativity, and perseverance of our engineers who continue to make significant contributions to the City of Imperial and beyond. Now therefore, I, Mayor James Tucker, on behalf of the City, Imperial City Council, do hereby proclaim the week of February 16th through 2025 in the City of Imperial passed and adopted on the 5th day of March 2025 at a regular meeting of the Imperial City Council.
The only engineer in the room, Mr. David Dale.
Mr. Dale, would you please step up for your photo, please?
Yeah, he works very hard for the
He
P
does.
after his initial, after his name. I would say that is something amazing. And he can sing.
And he can sing and dance.
Yay, David.
Thank you very much.
Okay, next 8.3, we're gonna table that till the next meeting. All right. Consent agenda, we'll be removing B4. All items appearing on the consent agenda will be acted upon by the city council with one motion without discussion. Should any council member or other persons request that item be considered separately, that will be then be taken up at the time as determined by the mayor.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
I got a motion and a second. Please vote.
Motion carries 4-0.
Okay, now we're gonna open up B4. I think Mr. David Dale handles that.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Council. Item B4 is to declare public service equipment as surplus and authorize the sale and disposal of such items. So we have a number of items that are before you that we are proposing to put on our surplus list. Now, we know that one of our departments would like a couple of these units, which we're happy to share those units with our Parks Department or any other department that wishes to have some stick welders or other things, police department, anyway. We're happy to share, but this is equipment that Public Services has no further use of. There's mostly metalwork equipment. And we did an estimate basically of the cost of the equipment if it was new, and all of these items approximately are $100,000 more or less new. We're trying to make room and space in our shop area. Right now, it's a big mess, and we're trying to clean that shop up for more storage of maybe water pipelines and valves and such. So I'm happy to answer any questions.
Go ahead.
Yeah, actually, I think you answered it already. I was just gonna see, I know some of these items could be used by other departments rather than us going to sell them out. I mean, the brakes, definitely the metal cutting bandsaws, some of the welders. I mean, the gas welders those go on the back of a truck. We all know where that goes. But our plasma cutters, stick welders and stuff like that, that could be used by other departments is kind of what my concern is. If we can utilize them with others, would definitely be going. I mean, some of these we know are high dollar items, and I'd rather not see them go if we don't have to rebuy them again. They're in good working condition.
Do any of the other departments want any of these?
Parks.
Or they want all of them or just some of them?
So we'll be looking through their inventory to see what we can actually use, mount on the trucks, our service trucks. I know that I've seen a few of their compressors that we could utilize on our trucks, the, different cutting, tools, that we can utilize and, we'll be talking to David about those and see what we can transfer over to Parks and Rec.
And another question, kind of off the wall. Why didn't you guys talk about that before you put all that stuff out on this list?
Yeah, so this is the list, this is the entire list of items that are in the shop that the staff made, so that we put it on here. Obviously, even if council allows us to be surplus, we can still share it with our other departments, which that would be first,
Yeah,
first priority. So that's what we're gonna do.
all right.
And this will be, it's a public sale, so it won't, we'll be putting this on a public.
Governmentdeals.com or something.
And just out of curiosity, is this equipment, is it still operable or is it you no longer need it? Or can we anticipate you're gonna, at some point, a request to purchase a newer version is gonna be coming before us or?
No, this is all operable, mostly it's operable equipment. There's only one item here that is inoperable. It's just that we don't use this equipment for what we do, and it's just gathering dust, as you can kind of see from the pictures. And it's in the way of what we're doing, so that's why we're asking that. We don't do metal work mostly, in what we do on a day-to-day basis, and we do have other equipment, so we will not be asking for another TIG welder or a shot, those kind of things, no.
Why would we have these pieces of equipment if they're not used?
Can't
Times
answer
are
that
changing.
question, I wish I could.
Is that a good question? Okay.
Times are changing and the repairs are different now than they were back
Yeah.
when.
There were some use, I guess, in Wolf Park, I guess, they did some things there, and I'm not sure what other stuff they did, but.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve. I'll second.
I got a motion and a second. Roll vote, please.
Thank you.
Motion carries 4-0.
Okay, up next, C, action items, discussion action. C1, approve the purchase of two new 2024 Ford F-250 service truck for the water treatment plant. Mr. Dale?
Yes, thank you. So we had this on our capital improvement plan and it's budgeted this year. We put in, I want to say $180,000 for budgeted, and this is gonna be 145,000, something like that. So we're under the budget we had anticipated for this. So we went out and got a few quotes, and there's actually a cheaper quote, but it's for a truck it's gonna take a while for them to put it together, and it's out of town. So we're proposing to use the local, keep our money local, and one of the additional bonuses for the El Centro, with two bonuses El Centro Motors brings. Number one, the trucks are ready to go. So approval today would mean we'd have the trucks, very soon, as opposed to the trucks from the other would be, months for them to prepare. They're already ready to go, and then the El Centro Motors trucks are four-wheel drive. So that's the difference. So they come with a little bit more benefit than the other ones. So
Okay.
the trucks we were replacing are a 2013 and 2014 vehicles that I understand that the operators are having a lot of difficulties with in terms of functionality, and I know that they need vehicles that are responsive whenever there's a water break. They need to get to it without failing vehicle. So
I know where you can get a good deal on a welder.
And we don't, I saw that they're for gas. We're okay with gas, not diesel?
yeah, we're okay with gas. Yes.
I prefer gas myself.
They're a lot cheaper.
Well, the EPA
I'd make a motion to approve.
Yeah.
and a motion
Second.
and a second. Please vote.
Motion carries 4-0.
Thank you. Next is C2, approve an agreement between the City of Imperial and the Imperial Irrigation District for an IID pole attachment program. Alejandro, please.
Mr. Mayor and council members, we receive a agreement from IID for the installation of technology on IID poles. So there are the rules that they state. There is also the Exhibit D, where it describes the fee schedules. At this point, we have only we're using six poles from IID for our technology cameras and Wi-Fi radios, mainly here in Eagle Park. But this is this established the rules for them regarding the use of those poles. We're gonna bring later another agreement in the other way where the City of Imperial, where IID is gonna use, with using City of Imperial poles, and we are probably we're gonna use the same schedule. So that's what it is.
Ready?
And I will start for any question that you may have.
All right.
So moved.
I got a motion
Second.
and a second. Please vote.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Motion carries 4-0.
Okay, up next, sorry about that. C3, approval and adoption of the City of Imperial's vacancy requirement and retention efforts policy. Ms. Smith?
Good evening. So the vacancy recruitment and retention policy is one that will provide us with the groundwork to provide public hearings and reporting on the city's workforce and retention and recruitment efforts. The policy is in compliance with AB 2561 and fosters transparency and accountability on the city's employment practices. The AB 2561 requires that we hold annual hearings reporting our vacancies prior to the adoption of our budget. And the policy will outline our process for those hearings. And during the hearings, we will present comprehensive information on the status of the current vacancies, our recruitment and retention strategies, and identify any obstacles in our hiring processes. Recognized employee organizations will have the opportunity to present as well their perspectives and any recommendations. And in situations where any bargaining unit experiences a vacancy rate of more than 20%, upon request, the city is required to provide detailed data on vacancy numbers, applicant volume, hiring timelines, and opportunities for compensation and working condition improvements. This policy will outline our process to comply and hold these hearings annually. And I'll answer any questions that you may have.
All right, any question?
So moved.
I got a motion
Second.
and a second. Vote, please.
Motion carries 4-0.
Right. Thank you. D, reports, department reports. Mr. Mora?
Mr. Mayor and council members, North Imperial Avenue and 10th Street intersection will be closed this Friday from 5 a.m. till 1 p.m. The school has been notified and the notice has been posted on social media. We're installing a storm drain system and it's just going to take a couple hours. And as a matter of updates, 7, 10, and 14th Street, we completed, I would say, 95% of all concrete, sidewalks, and ADA ramps. And the next step will be to complete all the storm drain system and pavement. And I'll keep you posted on that.
Thank you. And that's a day the kids are actually out of school, so it's very perfect timing. I appreciate it.
You think they planned it that way?
Yes.
Yeah. Job well done. You appreciate it.
Even if not, he's going to take the credit.
I would. All right, Mr. Dale?
So now I've got a moment to think about it and consider that. I do want to say thank you for this proclamation. We have two more engineers in the city that work with us in the community development department. I'd like to acknowledge them as well. They do obviously the same work that we do on a daily basis. On an engineering level, what we're trying to do for the city is kind of master plan now, right? We've had a lot of subdivision come in one at a time, and is really looking at the master planning of how we can sustainably develop for the future, and that's what we're looking at the infrastructure for. So that being said, the 21-inch pipe, the first phase of it is actually nearing completion. The pipe is in, and we as I mentioned last meeting, we got a few stumbling blocks, but we were able to get through them. So the main pipe is in, and they're just connecting the minor, the laterals, and they'll be finishing hopefully in a week or so. So we should be done in hopefully a week. And then after that, they can start the actual paving process on that. And so Imperial or at Ayton Boulevard should look a lot better in the coming month or so. So I would like to say, express my appreciation for all the businesses located along Ayton Boulevard. I know it was kind of a inconvenience, to say the least, and we tried to work with them as much as possible to keep their driveways open, or at least one driveway open at all times. And so we'd just like to thank them for that. So, and thank everyone here for their assistance. Police department was very instrumental with their traffic control plan. I had a plan, but it wasn't the right plan, so the police department came in and made the right plan. So it really worked out. So I would like to thank them as well.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I forgot one important item. So we got notice from ICTC that 2 of our projects that we applied, we got the money. They were placed in contingency, we got the money, so it's from the.
For which projects?
Ayton Boulevard from the railroad to Clark. It's a small projects and overlay, but it's really needed.
Oh, man, I hope you make the line better. I can't see those lines at night.
And from First Street all the way to Berioni. So we're gonna repay all that, but we gotta work on that like ASAP.
On Ayton or?
No,
First?
First, on Clark.
Oh, okay.
First to Berioni.
Oh.
So we got all that too.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, Councilmember Mendoza saw my many shoes. I forgot to mention, we were at the water plant today doing our final startup for the water plant project finally. So that we should be putting the final nail in the next couple weeks. And I mean, everything is running. They just have to do some minor tweaks. So that's why my shoes are muddy today.
All right. Mr. Lopez?
So real brief, we have, I think, one of the biggest outside of Christmas and the parade, for events coming up, Blues Brews and Barbecue, March 22nd, in downtown from 5 to 9. We are currently a little bit under a month out. We're sold out, as far as vendors spaces go. We still are taking, vendors and applications in case people drop out. So we have a wait list right now of probably, I would say 40 or 50 vendors that want to come in. So as people give us notice of dropping out or they don't attend, we can potentially fill those spaces with that wait list. And we hope to have a really good event downtown. And then our autism fair, April 12th. It's been a staple down in the city of Imperial. I think it's our 3rd or 4th year doing it, and our numbers have only grown. Now we've added a 5K to that event, and it's been successful as well. So we'd like to continue supporting that cause. It's a very good cause that we've partnered in with ASIC. So those are also, that's the next event coming in April 12th from 12 to 4 at Eager Park.
All right. Thank you very much. Mr. Estrada?
Nothing to report. However, on a funny note, I also hold a bachelor's degree in computer engineering. So I.
Oh.
I wouldn't say that. I'm not the only ones. Not related to professional engineering, but I mean, I think that the background that we have allow us to move the city in the right direction. So
You guys are all doing a great job.
Thank you.
just for the record.
Well, you should speak up and get in the picture. Go take it again.
Our photojournalist left. Please.
I do not have an engineering degree. I'll make that one. So just a couple of things that update on the animal control facility. We had the plans drawn out, and IID is going to be dropping a pole in order to pull in the adequate amount of power to the facility. We just got the price quote for that today, and we will be continuing forward, hopefully in the next few weeks, being able to put the pole in, have the installation done, and then be able to build from there for the animal control facility. And at some point, when everything is complete and finished, have a more formal recognizing of the facility and opening it up. It currently houses the world's angriest golden retriever, which I didn't think was possible. And then, so as far as our community outreach issues or efforts, Read Across America today and tomorrow and the rest of the week. Our staff has been participating, reading in front of a very, very critical audience, which consists of anywhere from kinder to fifth grade. And then our kinder tour that we had last week was a tremendous success. Thanks, a special thanks for Officer Fierro, who did most of the coordination. This was her project. She took most of it on herself, and it was a tremendous, tremendous success. Thank you to Tony and Imperial Parks for their generous donation in support of our efforts. IID Border Patrol, Imperial County Sheriff's Department, Reach, County Fire, all who participated in entertaining. It was approximately 400 kindergartners, one of which or two of which got me sick. But it was a tremendous event to be a part of. I know that a couple of other people from the city had an opportunity to stop in and kind of partake a little bit, and they too had genuine smiles on their face. But other than that, thank you very much. We have nothing else.
All right, thank you. Fire?
Nothing to report.
All right,
But
thank
Chief, weren't you at one point an engineer in your career too? You can claim it.
Oh, I was a fire engineer.
There you go.
It's a long.
Acting capacity.
Oh, there
For me, the budget's already started. Tomorrow, all departments will get their initial worksheet so we can start working and get something to council by the end of the month. And see preliminary projects for each department, where we're going and all that. So hopefully, everything goes good, which it is going. So it's just probably hear from me by the end of the month, set something up through the NS office and see what we can do.
All right, thank you.
That's it.
All right, Kristen, any hires, any fires, any action?
Hires. We like the hires. We'll have our slideshow just momentarily. Oh, she's so wonderful.
That James.
So while we're waiting for the slideshow, I will update for the Employee Engagement Committee. We did do the Art Cow project for the fair. And so if you have a chance to go to the fair, stop by the Preble building and see a little piece of our hearts out there. Miss Daisy really stole our love and compassion. So everybody did a great job. She looks amazing. We had it was all staff that painted our cow. We did not hire any outside assistants. And she came out, we went and we looked at the other cows and we were like, ooh, she looks good. So yeah, we're very proud of her.
She was the only one that had,
$2,500.
she was the only one that had a hairdress.
She had a headdress. Yeah, she's she's very fancy. So we love her. And on her left shoulder, you'll see the names of all the staff that participated in painting her. And so then this week we did have 5 new hires. We have Jesus Alvarado, General Maintenance Worker 1 from Public Services. And then following, we have Anthony Cardenas, Park Maintenance Worker 1 for Parks and Recreation. We have Francisco Esquera, who's also a General Maintenance Worker 1 for Public Services. And then we have Emmett Fried, the Organic Waste Monitor for Community Development. And we have Javier Tinajero, General Maintenance Worker 1 for Public Services. If you see them, please give them a warm welcome. And that's all I have for HR.
All right, Mr. Garcia.
Thank you, Mayor. Just for the record, I've never been an engineer. But I am pleased to say that we did get word from PLHA, the Public Local Housing Allocation Program. And so we got approved for our first year allocation, that's the 2020 year, of 147,000. So we should receive that check within the next 6 weeks, they advised us. And so we're intending to use those funds to do some needed improvements on the 6th and 8th Street apartments, starting with some window replacements that are very much needed over there. And then we have 3 other follow-up years that we'll be working on, so probably another 350,000 that we can use to put into some upgrades there. So we are starting to work on the first RFP on that as well, that we'll be coming before you with, and we'll probably need some more direction on the future of those apartments and which way this council wants to go, which we'll be coming back to discuss.
I know the deadlines are usually April for the subsequent years. Do we already have that? Because we already approved our 5-year plan, so you shouldn't need to come back to us, correct?
No, but for the RFP for, once we get, contract
No,
with the
but I'm
contractor.
talking as far as,
No,
applying to,
we
going
can
to the state
apply
to get the
for
money.
those, to get that money. There is some other work that needs to be done because we gotta designate those as affordable housing.
Yeah.
And there's a process
I
for
did
that.
remember, for some reason,
so-
I'm thinking that the deadline, because if we're barely getting the 20 funding, then our 21 year funding should be coming up with a deadline soon, shouldn't it?
Yeah, we still have quite a bit of time with those.
Okay, I thought it was
Our
in April.
deadline for the 2020 was actually Friday, so
Oh, okay.
did some scrambling to get that request for funds, submitted and approved today. And then we'll be
Good job.
working on the next 3 years. We were short a couple of documents that, like I said, we'll be working on. Because initially, which they prefer as well, just to probably save time with the administrative process, that we put in for all the funding years all at one time. But because we weren't completely ready, we did some scrambling. They worked with us and they allowed us to draw the first year because that was, Friday was the deadline, which would have it would have been repurposed into their program. We would have lost that. So we've got that secured and the checks in the mail, coming to us, and then we'll work on the next 3 years to get.
I don't know
all
who
that.
your representative is at the state, but that was by far the easiest funding source to work with. Because they want it gone and give us the documents here. We'll tell you what you need and here's the check.
Yeah, she was definitely willing to work with us and try to help us to get that.
The only
Through on
concern
Friday.
I think that I had in the past was they described the program as we're building the plane while we're flying it. Because it's such a new funding source, they haven't created the regulations yet. And so be prepared because I think they're looking at making sure that they're keeping an eye on how this money is being spent and they're starting to create the regulations for it. Right now, there is none.
All right.
And that's all I have.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Tom. Mr. Marita?
Mr. Mayor and Council, so I too am not an engineer and also I'm not a woman. But I will say that they have both made a huge difference in my life. And I think the city of Imperial is also, better for it. So that's all I have.
Thank you.
Nothing for me, no.
You want me to go first?
Yes, sir.
All right. First of all, was able to attend the fair kickoff meeting. I got to see Daisy, got to see all the nice decorations, so that was actually really nice, to catch up with some of that and see what's coming for the fair. The following day, attended the, groundbreaking for ICTC with the Calexico Intermodal Transit Center that we're building on Third, and I don't know what the other street is, but it's on Third Street. What'll be replacing the existing small transit center. It'll be taking the entire street block. This will be in excess of $19 million, looking at about a 1 year build project. So, have a lot of new features that'll be coming into that, a lot of new technology that'll be there. Security, restrooms, break rooms for bus drivers. Not only will it provide transportation for just the regular transit, it'll also provide a place for farm workers to catch the bus, your ride shares, your Ubers, your micro transits, all that goes there. So I was lucky enough to be one of the speakers during that groundbreaking alongside with Congressman Reese, Caltrans, SCAG, and the city of Calexico. So definitely it was a good project that was coming. Just there was all the other days were nice and cool. That was the only hot day. So that was nice to do. Yesterday, I was happy and lucky enough to attend the Frank Wright Middle School Philanthropy Day, which allows seventh graders to build a project to showcase their own nonprofit organization and raise funds for them. And so they have to draw in people, sell their merchandise, and get you to donate. It was very nice. I saw at least 50 different nonprofits, some local, some out of county, being Ronald McDonald House, the what's the other one? St. Jude's, and so just different organizations and these, students had to create their boards and, come talk to people and and say, hey, come donate to me. That money that the kids raise goes back to that organization from those kids. So it was really nice, to be part of that. Was also, happy to say that, Congressman Reese's office was also in attendance, or their field rep, Sarah Solorza, no, she was there. Never been there, attended, and we took a lot of pictures with the kids. Very nice to see. And so, they do it every year for seventh graders. And this is my second time attending. And then so, definitely looking forward to next year. Alongside that, she did mention that there is an art contest coming in, for high school students. This art contest, the winner of the art contest, it'll go through the different phases of getting up to the congressman. The winner that is chosen will actually be displayed in the big long hallway where all the art pieces are at. So very nice.
In DC or what?
In DC. Yeah, trying to remember where it's at. In the House of Representatives, I think it's in the bottom of that area where we walk through in that big long hallway. It'll be down there, showcased there. So I did send it to Dennis and I think forwarded it on. So don't know who we need to send it to if anybody wants to get that involved. But other than that, I hope everybody has a good time. I know the fair's here, so batten down the hatches because it's going to get windy. So with that, thank you guys for everything. Much appreciated for all the hard work.
I also got to participate in the Read Across America at Cross Schools, and I read to two second grade classes, one of them was my son's class, and he told me I was the best ever. Then I went to my fifth grader's class, and she said that her and her classmates said I was the most boring story reader they've ever had. So, I feel your pain, Chief. But other than that, I have nothing to report.
All right, thank you.
Just, as Councilmember Amparano said, that with the fair time coming, it's exciting to have it here, but we also have to be conscientious about the traffic.
Yeah.
I know we always, this time of year, you always see all the traffic starting to back up and people trying to get a little crazy to get across the freeway. So while I encourage everybody to attend and have an absolutely wonderful time, I do ask that everyone please be conscientious about the traffic and stay safe out there.
All
Mr.
right.
Mayor, if I may.
Yeah.
That flasher on Second Street. I think the Second Street, the flashers that we have on both sides of the traffic, the caution lights, we usually turn them on during fair season, and they're not on right now. You know which ones we're talking about, right?
Yeah, that is.
Thank you.
All right.
Sorry about that.
Seeing nobody else? Anything?
I have nothing to add.
Nothing. All right. And I'll adjourn this meeting till March 19th, 2025.